Charlotte will be the next city where Border Patrol will begin an immigration enforcement operation.
That's according to a Department of Homeland Security official.
America, Border Patrol agents are heading to Charlotte, North Carolina next, and the liberal establishment is absolutely losing their minds. After wrapping up operations in Chicago, Commander Greg Bavino is bringing his team to Queen City in an operation they're calling Charlotte's Web. But here's what really gets me fired up. Local businesses are claiming their sales are down 20% because illegal immigrants are too scared to leave their houses. My question is simple. If you're here legally, what do you have to worry about?
Now, the exact timing of this has not been announced, but it should follow Border Patrol Commander Greg Bavino leaving Chicago sometime this week.
What is up, guys? Tyson DELACRUZ here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This is exactly what we voted for. Real immigration enforcement that doesn't discriminate based on what city you're hiding in. The Trump administration is keeping their promises, and the results are speaking for themselves. Let me break down what's really happening in Charlotte. This isn't some random raid operation. This is a coordinated federal operation targeting people who are in our country, you guessed it, illegally. And unlike previous operations, Border Patrol is taking the lead without coordinating with ICE in the same location.
These scenes in Chicago have made national headlines the past few weeks. Chicago residents clashing with teams of Border Patrol agents as they rounded up people believed to be in the country illegally.
The Chicago operations were incredibly successful, which is exactly why they're expanding to Charlotte. When you enforce immigration law properly, you actually get results. But listen how the media frames it. They're calling it controversial when federal agents enforce federal law.
U.S. officials are telling CBS News Border Patrol teams are expected to start an operation in Charlotte this month. Top Border Patrol official Greg Bavino is said to be leaving Chicago, where his agency was part of a large immigration crackdown, according to CBS News.
The timing isn't coincidental here. They're moving systematically from city to city to clean up the mess that the Biden administration left behind.
CBS News also said that Border Patrol could arrive sometime this month, with the operation being dubbed Charlotte's Web. In a statement to Queen City News, DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin would not comment on the reporting, saying, quote, "Every day DHS enforces the laws of the nation across the country. We do not discuss future or potential operations."
Charlotte's Web. I love that operation name. It perfectly describes what they're doing, weaving a web to catch people who shouldn't be here. And notice how DHS won't comment on future operations. It's called operational security, something that the Biden administration never understood. In fact, they probably never understood anything.
Come on, man.
Now here's where it gets interesting. Listen how the left is responding to law enforcement doing their job. They're acting like enforcing immigration law is some kind of human rights violation.
No immigrants are going to come to this bakery. And if I don't have customers, I don't have a business.
Bettenker says his community has lived in fear since President Trump took office in January, not wanting to get together or even leave home. His bakery's retail sales are down 20% from last year.
So let me get this straight. A baker owner is complaining that his sales are down 20% because immigrants are afraid to leave their houses. But here's my question. If these are legal immigrants, why are they hiding? Legal immigrants have nothing to fear from immigration enforcement.
It just made me sick, man. Sick on my stomach. As an American citizen, I had to carry my passport because the way they look, the way they talk, and because my accent.
This Colombian-born U.S. citizen says he's going to carry his passport because of his accent. But you know what? That is actually smart. If you're a legal citizen, prove it. That's not discrimination. That is verification. The fact that entire communities are going into hiding tells you everything you need to know about the immigration status of these people. Legal immigrants don't have to hide from law enforcement. They simply cooperate with it.
Know that our directors are going to gather and see if there are any measures that we need to take internally here in our campus to ensure that not only our staff are safe, but also that our community is safe as well.
Listen to this nonprofit director talking about safety measures that they need to take. Safety from what? Federal agents enforcing federal law? The media and these advocacy groups are pushing complete false narratives about what's actually happening. They want you to believe this is about targeting all immigrants, but that, my friends, is an absolute lie.
I try to the best of my ability, make a plan for people to be there when and if they're taken into immigration custody. But all I can tell people is that I'm sorry they're in this position. And
This immigration attorney is making plans for people who might be taken into immigration custody. But here's what she's not telling you. If these people are here legally, they wouldn't need to make plans. The fact that she's preparing for mass arrest tells you that these aren't legal immigrants we're talking about here.
Latinos are hard workers. We're people of faith. We love this country. So I just want to challenge people out there that have this negative stereotype about this community that that's not true at all.
Well, being a hard worker doesn't give you the right to break immigration law. Loving this country means respecting its laws, including immigration laws. My question is, if you love America so much, then come here legally. Follow the process. Respect our sovereignty. Don't sneak across the border and claim victimhood when you get caught. Now let's talk about how local government is responding to federal law enforcement coming to their city. This tells you everything you need to know about their priorities.
CMPD tells us it's not involved and will only step in if criminal behavior falls under their jurisdiction.
That's fine. Border Patrol doesn't need their help. But notice they only step in if there's criminal behavior. Newsflash, being in the country illegally is criminal behavior.
Charlotte area Republican Congressman Tim Moore says he was unaware of any planned Border Patrol deployments, but that he supported their work.
I'm very proud of what these men and women who are doing to keep our border secure and to remove dangerous folks from our community and other communities around the country.
At least Republican Congressman Tim Moore gets it. He supports the work these Border Patrol agents are doing to keep communities safe. That's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. We support law enforcement. They obstruct it.
I don't know if that's going to happen or not. They haven't reached out to me, so I'm not sure what's going to occur.
The police chief says Border Patrol hasn't reached out to him. Good. They don't need permission from local law enforcement to enforce federal law. That's the beauty of federal jurisdiction. It supersedes local politics. Let's talk about what this operation really means for Charlotte and communities across America. This isn't about targeting innocent people. It's about restoring the rule of law.
These raids are meant to be provocative. They are trying to incite chaos.
They have their freedom back and their safety.
Listen to this contrast. Which narrative sounds more accurate to you? When you remove people who are here illegally, law-abiding citizens become safer. When you enforce immigration law, you restore order. When you hold people accountable for breaking the law, you strengthen the rule of law for everyone. The chaos isn't caused by immigration enforcement. It's caused by years of ignoring immigration law. Trump is cleaning up the mess, and that's exactly what we elected him to do. America, what we're seeing in Charlotte is the Trump administration delivering on their promises. They said they would conduct the largest deportation operation in American history, and they're doing exactly that. The liberal panic over Charlotte's Web tells you everything you need to know. When entire communities go into hiding because immigration agents are coming, that's not evidence of persecution. That's evidence of how many people are here illegally. The baker owner complaining about 20% sales drop, the nonprofit preparing safety measures, the immigration lawyer making custody plans. They're all admitting what we already knew. These aren't legal immigrants living in fear. These are illegal immigrants finally facing consequences. If you're here legally, you have nothing to worry about. If you're a U.S. citizen, carry your ID and be proud of it. If you're here illegally, it's time to face reality. The free ride is over, hombre. This is what America First looks like in action. No more sanctuary cities. No more catch and release. No more ignoring federal immigration law because it hurts people's feelings. Charlotte is about to learn what Chicago learned. When you enforce law, you restore order. When you remove people who shouldn't be here, you make community safer for people who should be here. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.